What's the future for Raw Fit?
To be the best gym in the world and like help people. Like we just want to help people like feel good and look good. And there's so much like the negative connotation of working out where it's like you have to die. Like, you don't have to die. Like, you don't have to, like, you have to push yourself a little bit at certain times, but you don't have to throw up every time. You don't have to be in pain. Like, no pain, no gain. You can feel good and look good. Like, you have to be in the moment. You have to be present. You have to be consistent. But, like, you don't have to die. Everyone thinks, like, you have to sweat and die. Like, no.
Welcome back to another episode of The Office Podcast with your host, Jay Kuza, and myself, Nicole. And today we have a very special guest from Raw Fit 305, Sean Casey. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. So far, so good. So I know you got a really good story. I'm dying to ask you all these questions. So we'll start from the beginning.
Let's do it.
Talk to me. How did you get into fitness?
Fitness, I played sports my whole life, but then like I never wanted to work out. Like I almost had like a negative like connotation with like
working out.
Yeah, because like the throwing up, the pushing, all that stuff. It's like you really didn't want to do it no more. Then I went to jail, prison for a little bit.
Whoa.
Yeah. Let's go back. He's like, what was your first job?
Yeah, you know all about that. First job?
Yes.
Like real job.
Whatever
like,
you consider was real for you.
Restaurant busboy. I had a baby in high school. Like I got my girlfriend pregnant when I was in high school. So I started working at night at the Cheesecake Factory as a busboy. So I'd be there till like 2, 3 in the morning. And then I was doing some illegal activity on the side. So, but yeah, that caught up with me later. But yeah, first job at Cheesecake Factory, busboy.
And how was that for you?
It was awful. I hated it. Like they were busy. Like it was like the #1 restaurant in the country at the time too. Like they were busy. It was like, I started around the holidays too, so it was busy.
And while you were there, did you know like, oh, I want to work out,
No, I didn't want to work out ever. I wanted to be like the biggest drug dealer in the world at the time. And
really?
I did not want to work out. I hated working out. Like I think like Allen Iverson was my role model and he never worked out. So I was like, it was almost like cool not to work out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how does a guy go from not working out to running a gym, and you're a drill sergeant from what I can see?
Yeah. I mean, when we went to vacation, you know, boot camp, summer school, whatever, college.
The academy?
Yeah, all that good
Call
stuff.
it what it is.
It was, I mean, we went to prison, you know, and it's like, you got time. I had 5.5 years at 22. So it was like, might as well do something in this bitch. So we started working out, and then like, it wasn't really like going as fast as I thought it would. Like, I wasn't changing as much, so I was like trying to figure out like maybe we're not doing this as right as we should. So I started reading a little more, and then that's when I met Bezo, who's like Mr.
Bezo Fit.
Bezo Fit, you know, shout out to Brian Beverly. Bezo, he's I'll do anything for him. Like he did that for me. So I was in A1, he was in A3. They ended up moving me up to A3 just so I could be in the same unit with him. And he would like give me all his books. He would like, we'd do push-ups in the back. I would be reading. Anytime I had a question, I would go to him and be like, because we didn't have Google, we didn't have computers, we didn't have to like look shit up. So anything I had a question, I would have to go to him and he would explain it to me. Or he would like, go read some more. Like sometimes he'd be like, I'm not answering that shit. Go read some more. Like, figure it out. So he like really like, he had a degree in kinesiology, a degree in business. He did 15 years and he made sure just everything was like correct. Like we had a schedule we had to follow. It was 7 weeks. Most days were at least 3 hours a day. Some days were like 5, 6, 7 hours, but it was 7 weeks on, 1 or 2 weeks off.
So you're in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You've never worked out prior.
Never. I mean, I played sports, but I never worked out.
Yeah, but it wasn't your thing.
Nah, I hated that shit.
So you go there and you're like, this is
body weight. It was all body weight. There were no weights. So it's just like push-ups.
There's no weight in prison?
There's not in ours. There's none. They don't want them getting too big now. You're going to beat up the guards. I like throw them at people and shit, but yeah, it was all body weight. So it was like you really had to like, okay, like we got to do this like really correct, and there was a lot of it. Like we were there all day, every day.
And how do you eat correctly while you're there to work out? Because fitness is so important.
These are the questions that people have. They want to know, how do you stay fit in prison?
I mean, it's really easy. Like it's easy and it's not easy. Like if you decide that's what you want to do, like there's not a lot of choices. So you find what works and you keep running. Like we would take oatmeal in your pocket to the chow hall. And you're not allowed to bring shit in the chow hall either. So we have to like sneak it in like in your pocket. And then we would have, you go to commissary and you buy like white rice. We buy the white rice. the little black beans, and then mackerel. Like, I didn't even know what a mackerel was for all that.
Wow.
They're just talking about, yo, you better get that mackerel. I'm like, what?
I don't think our listeners know what mackerel is.
Mackerel's like bait fish, like sardines. But that shit tastes like chicken, like it's good. And then tuna costs too much. So like we're only allowed to spend $300 a month. So tuna and chicken, all that shit's like $3. Mackerel's like $1. So we got to eat like 3, 4, 5 times a day.
So budgeting, you learned that there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to budget, but yeah. We,
yeah, you learned how to budget.
Nah, because you could tell Poppy to order from the store for you. But, but it was, yeah, it was the mackerel, white rice. I think I probably ate mackerel and white rice 3 times a day for like 3.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you would get the water, hot water with the white rice, blow it up, you put the fish in before you leave. You come back from working out and it's ready to go, a little water in, and you just...
Considering you have 5.5 years, what are you thinking those 5.5 years?
I only ended up serving 4.5, so I got a little good time and shit. But I mean,
still a lot of time.
It was just, at the time, I thought my life was over. Like when I first got it, you know what I mean? Like I was like, this shit's over. But then you start talking to people who have a lot more time and like did bit, and they were like, yo, use this as like a lesson instead of like a career. So they were like, you know what I mean? That's why I got really lucky going to Coleman where we went. Because, you know, a lot of places, they just turn you into a bigger knucklehead. But like a lot of these dudes, like the older dudes that have been around for a long time, they kind of like, bro, you don't want this life.
They understand that it's institutionalized.
Yeah, and they like, you got a chance. A lot of them dudes in the federal system, they got like 20, 30, 40 years, like a lot of time. So like 5 years, even though I thought it was a lot, when I started talking to a lot of people, it was like, okay, this isn't that long. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, what are you going to do when you get out? It's like,
when you were in there, did you think about fitness as a business? Did you say, I'm going to get into the fitness business when I get out?
Not in the beginning. Like, after we kind of, like, really got into it, and it was, like, after, like, a year, yeah. Because my boy Thomas, you know, T-Fit, he was big. Like, he was doing the boot camps and stuff before, like, all that shit was on. And he was, like, always into working out. Even when we'd be partying, he'd leave in the morning. Like, he'd make sure he got the boot camp in the morning, whatever. And he made, like, a lot of money. Like, on the online, he was, like, one of those first online trainers. Like him, that girl Angela Cigar, whatever you know is, like they killed it. So I kind of was like, okay, if he can do it, then like, okay, we can do this. And I was telling everybody, like when I was getting ready to come home, I was like, I'm gonna be a trainer, and they're all like, bro, what? Like you're not gonna be a trainer?
No.
Like no, everybody was like, nah, like you sure? Like, cause it wasn't like a career yet. You know what I mean? Like I guess like when I got out,
wow, you had a lot of people doubting you.
Like, everybody's down. Like yo, you should get like we'll get you a job at. Everybody was talking about like, oh, you should try and get a job at Prime 112 and be a waiter. They make good money.
Really?
I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna be no fucking waiter.
But let's dissect this a little bit, because when you say everybody, is not the whole world. This is like your inner circle.
Yeah, no question. And mind you, like I'm 5'2", like 130 pounds. People like work out. Like what are you talking about? You know what I mean?
But you were already shredded when you were getting ready to leave.
I was getting there. Yeah, when I was getting ready to leave. But still, it was like, yo, like who's a trainer out here? Like. Trainer wasn't like a career back then.
How did that make you feel? Like, how do you...
I didn't really care. I expected it because like, I fucked up so many times before. It's like, why would people have faith in me to like, you know what I mean? Because everybody thought I was going to... These are the same people that I've been having talks with for years. Like, yo, you got to chill out. Like, you got to stop doing what you're doing. Like, yo, you got to make a change. So they're so used to me just being like, yeah. That you thinking I'm just going to come out and do the same shit again. And it's like, so... They didn't really, like, I hadn't built up enough, like, confidence in myself and them for them to believe me. Like, why would they believe me? You know what I mean? So I knew I was going to have doubts from everybody, but it was like, I did so much work in there, like, towards the goal that I was like, there's no way I'm not going to make it. You know what I mean?
There's no way.
There's no way. Like, I just had that, like, even when I got out, like, I got, like, 9 certifications when I was in there. Like, ISA, the NFPT, like, the senior fitness, the kids fitness. And I would read for, like, 3-4 hours every day in the morning. So I read like biology, physics, like my mom would send me books, friends would send me books. Bezo had mad books. I would just get as much as I can. I just try to learn as much about the body. Like I wasn't reading anything that didn't have to do with getting me towards a goal. So like after like my second year, I was like, I'm not reading any book unless it has to do with like fitness or business or like self-help. I'm not, like we watch TV obviously, but like anything I did, like it had to get me closer to that. Like anything, or else I wouldn't.
You became obsessed.
Yeah, ain't no question. Obsessed. Yeah, that's a good word.
So you get out, and then what happens?
When I got out, one of my boys, Nut, he's like best friends with Flow Rider. And so Flow Rider, that gym he has in Carroll City now, they were supposed to open that, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna send you over there and we'll go. But it wasn't ready yet, so I got out thinking I'm gonna go to that, and there was nothing. So then it was just like start applying to gym. So I went to LA Fitness in Brickell City, the Brickell one, and I went to like a couple other spots, and they're all like when they saw all my certifications and we did the questions, they're like, oh, you're good. We got you. Like, no pressure. You're going to kill it. And then they would do the background and they would be like, at the time, you still can't tell someone convicted felons can't be a job because you're a convicted felon. It's illegal. So they would just give me like the runaround or wouldn't call me back. And I'm in the halfway house at the time. So, halfway house, like you can't leave until you have a job. No, you can't leave. So you still locked up, but you out, but you can't leave. Like you can't go on no 48-hour pass. You can't go home. Like you just sitting in the halfway house. So I was like, fuck, after like 2-3 weeks, like I can't go nowhere. Like if you don't have a job, eventually they're going to send you back. And there was a pizza place that was hiring everybody because they you get the money if you hire like a federal, somebody in the halfway house, you get like those grants and stuff. So they were hiring everybody. Yeah, I mean, that's what I heard. I mean,
$10,000.
Yeah.
You should hire some people from there.
I mean, we hired plenty, but they're not W-2. I mean, man, they fucked it. They weren't W-2s, 1099s. That's how I got in that legacy. I told him about this shit. I'm like, bro, you get 15 racks, you hire me. But he didn't W-2 me, 1099 me, so he don't get the shit.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so they were like, no. And then there was this one dude, my boy knows him now because he tell me he's still talking about me to this day. He was in Hialeah. Because you gotta take the bus everywhere. Boom, bus. So I took the bus. I told him I had $1,000 saved up when I got out. And I was like, look, I'll pay you. Just let me, like, I need a job. And he was like, nah, we can split what you make. I'm like, bro, I can't do that for the halfway house. I need like a check every month to give them. I needed like, it was like minimum wage at the time was $8.05. So I was like, I just need $8.05 for 40 hours. That's it. And he was like, nah. So then I was gonna go to the pizza place. My boy actually did like a resume for me for the box gym and CrossFit for like, it was like, tell your story. So my boy, like Jimmy, he typed it up, told him like my story about like sports and then going to gym and all that shit. And then he sent it to a bunch of gyms. And one of them happened to be Legacy because my best friend had a guy who owned a gym. I called him. He was like, I can't, but you could try this gym. And one of them was Legacy. So I'm like, yo, send it out there. So I didn't know what the fuck Legacy was. My boy sends the shit to him. Manning hits back. He's like, come in for a 4 o'clock interview, whatever,
4 o'clock?
PM. So he's like, yeah, PM. But he's like, and this is how I knew. And I was like, 4 o'clock? And he's like, that's what I said, right? And I was like, okay.
Why? What's the backstory?
Man, it's tough.
Shout out to Legacy Fit.
Shout out to Legacy Fit.
A lot of good things came from there. Sean is one of them.
That's boot camp part 2.
Boot camp part 2.
Okay.
This is
that was a smooth transition from prison. It was smooth.
Okay, so let's dissect this for a second. You're in the halfway house. You're looking for a job. You're not sure where you're gonna go. The job you were planning on is not available. You were gonna go work at the pizza place.
Yeah, like no gym will hire me. No, not a gym. They told me
no gym.
No, you can't.
Oh my God.
And you get a call back from Legacy Fit.
From Legacy Fit.
And it's Manny.
It's Manny.
And he says,
he was like he even tells me, he's like, yo, you sounded so excited on the phone. And I was like, because my boy told me, he's like, yo, Kevin Durant's in there.
You were excited because you were like, oh.
Yeah, but he's like, yo, Kevin Durant's in there, like all these dudes and stuff at the time. And I'm like, oh shit, this could be dope. You know what I mean? Because like I love sports. And then Coleman, like I ended up taking over after Bezo. So Bezo ran the whole show for like 12 years. And then when he left, there were like 4 of us that like could have took it. And he didn't we thought he was just going to give it to one of us. And he didn't. He just left. And we had to like kind of like battle it out for it. And I ended up getting the number 1. So like I ran the whole shit after he left. So I had like a lot of confidence like in it. Like,
yeah, we're skipping the interview process. Let's get back to the interview. Yeah. You call him. He says, "Come in at 4."
Come in at 4. So I came in.
And he says,
He's like, that's what I said, right? And I was like, you got it. I'm trying to make sure. I'm like 4 o'clock.
Right. I'm there.
Like, so he's like,
were you there on time or at 3:45?
I almost fucked it up.
I gotta hear this.
Okay. So you get the interview for the job that you wanted.
That you're dying to get.
And you show up late.
Nah, I ain't show up late. I got lucky. Evan saved me. So Evan had worked out there before, and a couple of people had worked out there before, and they were like, we're gonna tell you about Legacy, but like, and they all know like the old me. So like knowing you and knowing him, like I don't think that's a good mix. And I was like, nah, I'm straight, whatever, good. So Evan had worked out there before, and he's like, one time he got into it with him, but like they're cool, whatever. But he was like, I'll meet you there. And I'm like, and this is my best friend, like my baby's godfather, like my boy.
Yeah, he loves you.
Yeah, so he's like, I'll meet you over there. I'm like, all right, cool. So like, you got to take the bus, and then they give you a certain amount of time to get there. And so like you could print out the directions. So my boy printed out the directions for me. This dude George, who had been out for a little bit, and I'm like standing on this side of the street, and the bus keeps coming on this side of the street, and I'm calm, like, bro, you sure it's on this side of the street?
Oh man.
And he's like, yeah, you good. And like time keeps going, and I'm like, bro, I don't know. And then like, nah, I was supposed to be on that side of the street. But by this time, it's like 3:30, like 3-4. There's no way I'm getting there. No way in hell. I got to catch like 2-3 buses. Like, there's no way. So I call Evan like, bro, there's no way I'm going to make this shit. He's like, all right, I'm going to get you an Uber. Mind you, I didn't know what the fuck an Uber was. Like, I'm fresh out. Like, there was no Uber back in the day. So he's like, I'm going to send you a Uber. I'm like, a what? He's like, a car going to pick you up. I'm like, are you going to be in the car? He's like, nah.
You're all paranoid.
Yeah. He's like, nah. I'm like, bro, I'm fresh out. And mind you, we're not allowed to do that shit in the halfway house. Like, we're not allowed to go in, nobody's allowed to pick you up. Like, it's very, like, and I'm right outside the halfway house. Like, outside that bitch. So I'm like, fuck, bro.
And the Uber goes to scoop you up.
I just did 5 years in prison. Like, I'm spooked. He's like, somebody's going to pick you up. I'm like, who's going to pick you up? And he's like, I'm like, you going to be there? He's like, no, I'll meet you there. I'm like, bro, who? And then he's like, I'll let you know when they're coming. I'm like, you don't even know who's coming. Like, I'm like,
you couldn't understand
this shit don't sound right, bro.
This is a setup.
But he got the Uber, and made it there on time.
Wait, the Uber pulls up, and what happens then?
I got in the fucking
You
car,
got
bro.
in?
It was too late at this point. It was like,
So you jumped in?
We jumped in.
And when you got in, you were nervous?
In the Uber, hell yeah. I'm like, I gotta make it. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know who this person is. I don't know if somebody in the halfway house see me. I got caught with the phone already in the halfway house. Like my first week, I thought they were gonna send me back. Yeah.
Yeah, because in there it's very strict.
Yeah, you know.
So you break any rules,
You're going back in. Yeah.
My boy had been there already, so as soon as I got
and
there,
getting
he gave me
picked
a
up
phone.
is one of them.
Yeah. So whatever. So then he takes me there, and we got there, and man is like walking me around and everything. He's like, we really just need somebody to fill in. Like, we're not really looking for somebody. I'm like, nah, I need a job, bro. Like, I need a job.
So you roll up there, you get out the Uber, you're very surprised, you don't know what this place is.
And I was a big warehouse too. Like, there were a lot of people there and everything.
There was people there. Yeah, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock class. Like,
So you walked in, and what happens?
I think I watched the class. I don't know who, whatever. But I started talking to him. He started showing me around, and he was just like, we just need like somebody to fill in from time to time. And I was like, that's not gonna work. Like, I need a job. Like, I need a job for the halfway house. I need to cut the halfway house a check. And my boy had told me, he's like, the halfway house don't check your hours. So I'm telling him, I'm like, look, I just need you to pay me for 40 hours. I work 60 hours, but just pay me minimum wage for 40 hours. So I give the halfway house they cut. And he took that and ran with it.
He liked that deal?
Oh, he loved that.
That was
I really had to beg him. I was like, bro, please, like, I need this shit. Like,
you had to beg him.
Yeah, not like beg, like hands and knees.
Yeah, no, he had to really get it. You had to work it.
Like, I need this shit. Like, whatever you need from me, I'll do. I don't give a fuck. But like, and mind you, I had a brown tooth at the time. I had a brown, cause it's a fake tooth. So I got my shit knocked out in there. So they put like an acrylic. I got a brown tooth, bro. Like, I'm fucked up. So yeah, he's like, all right, I'll put you on. He's like, we'll see where we go from there. I'm like, then he's like, I'll never forget. He's like, you want to work morning or nights? I'm like, I don't care, whatever. Motherfucker made me work both. He sent me a schedule, got morning and nights. I'm like, bro, but whatever. Like, what am I gonna say?
You were happy. You must have been happy.
I was, but I saw that schedule. I was like, God damn. And mind you, I'm on a bike too. I ain't got no car. So like, I told him I'm gonna take the bus, and he's like, you're not gonna take the bus. I'll get you a bike. So I'm like, all right. And I was like, no, I'll get the bike. So I got like a little beach cruiser with the back brakes. You know what I'm saying? No like handle brakes. Like, you stop pedaling, that bitch stops. So we in the halfway house. Yeah, and he gave me the job.
How's your mindset at that point? Are you still like, I'm gonna do this?
Oh, ain't no question. There
Really?
was no like, there was no.
The determination was there.
Yeah, there was no like, yeah, no, we were gonna get that. Yeah.
What made you so secure in your decision?
Because the work I put in jail, like if you ask anybody from jail, like even when they comment on the pictures and stuff, they're like, you did exactly what you said you were gonna do. Like, I told every motherfucker when I left what I was gonna do, while I was there what I was gonna do, and they saw me every day. Like, they saw me reading every single day. Like, I didn't pay attention in school ever, so like I would read in books, and I would have to have a dictionary next to me to like look up the words. Like, I didn't know what the fuck adjacent meant. I didn't know what parallel. Like, I was stupid, like on some drug, you know what I mean? So like, I'm reading the book, I'm looking up words. Like, I really like had the anatomy. Like, I'm writing every muscle down, every tendon down, like where it connects, like quizzing myself, like every day. Like, I put in so much work. Like, so much work.
So how long are you at Legacy at that point?
That was the first day.
No, but how long were you there?
I did 5 years at Legacy.
Really?
Yeah, I ended up buying a piece of Legacy.
What made you start saying, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to have my own thing?
Mm-hmm.
I never.
Did something trigger?
No, I didn't even want it until.
You didn't even want it?
No,
Really?
I didn't want it. I was like I believed in like what he was going for. You know what I mean? Like, I love Legacy. Like, I love the no days off. Like, I believed in it. That's why I did so well when I was there. Cause like, I'm selling something I believe in. Mm-hmm. So like, you could see the passion. You could see like, and like
teamwork.
And he like taught me a lot. Like, he was tough. That's why I like the boot camp stuff. Like, and I told, like, it was at a point where I was like, I'm not sure if he's right, but like I'm doing everything he said. Because if I fuck up, like I'm not trying to fuck him. Like damn, if I would have listened to him, like maybe I would have made it.
So he was a mentor.
Yeah, no question. Ain't no question. Like Manning, Bezo, those two were like, you know what I'm saying?
Those are your top influences.
Yeah, and RTS later on after that. But as far as like, and they were like the same. Like Bezo was No Days Off before No Days Off.
So you never questioned him?
Never.
Two different styles though, right? You would say two different styles?
Yes and no. Like, yeah, of course, different, but the same. Like, no bullshit.
Structure.
No bullshit structure. Like, I think Bezo had more structure, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, Bezo was like, especially, I mean, you had more
machine.
control.
12 years.
You had more control in the jail, though, too,
Absolutely.
because it's like, we can't leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, he can walk, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, and he was so, like, he was, like, almost God-like. Like, he was God-like. He is God. Like, his picture's painted on the wall in there, like a mural
Really?
of him. Yeah, ain't no question.
Yeah, no.
Like, my name's written on the wall.
Bezo's a legend.
Yeah, I'm
Like they
excited.
got some of us written on the wall. Like my name's written on the wall. There's a couple other dudes like written there after we left. They wrote us on there. But it's his face, like from here up, like he's like no
Legit.
question. Yeah, he's the man.
Just
Like,
that
no
time
question.
you were there, how many people do you think trained there?
Oh my God, thousands.
Thousands, right?
Like, and if you look at his tree, like the Bezo tree of people who like were
Came
up
from
under
under.
him and got out, like I don't know like no rates or percentages, but if you take the average dude coming out of jail and what they do, and like dudes that were up under him and came out, like a lot of people got out and like did a lot better just from being up under him. Cause just the mindset he taught you, like no excuses. We doing this shit every day. We don't take Christmas off. We don't take Groundhog Day off. Whether it's raining, we'll do push-ups in the back. You're going to do it right. You're going to do it correctly. You're going to hold each other accountable. Like we couldn't listen to the radio when we were out there. Like you had to count the person in front of you. Like every rep had to be perfect. Like it was like, like, there was just no excuse.
That's how he
Like, you just
operates.
ain't no question. Yeah, nothing.
That's
like,
how you operate too.
Ain't no question, but I got that from them. So if you knew me before, it was like,
So before that, you didn't have any of
I was
that?
reckless. Wow. I mean, I had some of it, but it's like not enough. Like little adversity, I was gone.
Really?
Ain't no question.
A little adversity and you
I
were
was
gone.
gone.
You go in 4.5 years and you come out and you're like, this is my thing.
Yeah. That shit changed. Like if you met me before and after, it's like new person. Like how you doing? Like completely different person.
So talk to us about Raw Fit 305.
Raw Fit 305 is
What do
like,
you find when you go there?
like a mix of all that and them, and then the RTS. The RTS is what like put it over the top because they're just like when we were doing all
What is
that-
RTS?
Yeah,
RTS Resistance Training Specialist. Tom Purvis, the GOAT. He's like the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like beyond the GOAT. Manning's the one who told me about RTS. So he told me to take RTS. I was asking, I was like, what do I do? And he's like, take RTS. And I was like, all right, so boom. I took RTS and the guy Tom Purvis started it. He lives in Oklahoma City. He used to be a bodybuilder and a PT, like physical therapist, and he just was always getting hurt. And he was like, none of the shit they tell you to do makes sense. Like it's all just protocols and checklists, and like there's no like deviation from it. And it's not like when you're training, everybody's different. You know what I mean? Like everything, like most of the time it might be something and there might be the same answer, but a lot of times it's not. So like most things in fitness and PT, it's like a checklist in a box. Like this means this and this means this. And he just teaches you how to like, no, it doesn't mean that. Like look at it and break it down for yourself and see what it means and see how we can make it better if you can. And like these are the principles that you obviously go by, and then you gotta break it down for yourself though. There's no like this means this. So everything is anatomy and physics. So like your arms might be longer than him, your femur might be twice the length of your tibia when his tibia and femur are the same length, so he can squat good, but you can't squat, so you can deadlift. So instead of me trying to make you squat, why don't I just get you good at deadlifting and find other ways to work those muscles instead of making you fit into this box that I created? And like most gyms are like sport, and you see most gyms like Barry's, everyone's looks the same way, like skinny and they all can run. You know what I mean? Legacy is like a little bit more athletic, bigger, strong, because the heavier weights and the heavier stuff. You go to Pilates, they all look the same. They're longer, leaner. You go to CrossFit, they all look the same, because you have to fit to their workout, because it's really a sport, it's not a workout.
Love Fitbit pre-workout. Doesn't give me the jitters, gets me going for my workout, and keeps me going all the way to the end. I definitely recommend it.
Reach for bip.
So you took both of those things and you incorporated when you started the gym. What made you start the gym?
I just needed a place to go, like where I wanted to, like where I may work so much, like I wanted a place where I can go and like be happy. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really care about the money. Obviously I care about the money, but I'm like, I'll make the money in other ways. But like it was a lot of like, you know what I mean? And I caused a lot of it over there, but like it was just a lot of, you know what I'm saying? And it was his show, so like if I want to do things my way, I got to go do it my thing. Yeah, and I would never disrespect Bezo, never disrespect Manning, especially like in public or with other people around. Like, this is your house, y'all built this shit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If I want to do something different, then I got to go out about my business and do that, you know?
So what makes you do that is you just wanted to run your own show.
Yeah, it just...
And you had enough respect for the people that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah. You had enough respect for them that you were like, I'm not going to...
Yeah, I couldn't, because I want full control.
Because
like,
this generation's a little different now. That's why I asked you that, right?
Sure,
some people think that they can come to them. I think that's really respectful. You still understand the chain of command.
My big brothers, like I don't really have any big brothers technically, but I was always like pretty good at sports. So I always played, like even when I was in third grade, I played with the sixth graders. And like when I was in middle school, I played with the high schoolers. So I always had like my big brothers kind of, and they were like extra tough on me and extra. And it was just like, I'm not going to, and they used to beat my ass like on the regular, like fuck me up, like beat the shit out of me. And so it's like, but they were all like good people too, like accomplished a lot. So I'm like, I want to be like y'all and I want to make y'all proud of me. So like, I'm never gonna, we're not gonna do that.
So you put all that into Raw Fit, you start running your own show. How long have you been running your own show?
Since quarantine. I left Legacy August 2020. Then we did the original Raw, and then that one, you know, was lesson learned, no paperwork in order, friends and stuff. And then, you know, when you don't have paperwork in order, people change their mind, they forget what they said, and that shit just didn't work. So, you know, we split ways.
So that was a partnership.
That was a partnership.
What is your advice when it comes to partnerships?
Paperwork. Get your paperwork in order. Like, we not friends at the table. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to like a lot of like Nipsey shit and stuff like that. People, and it's like, yo, when we negotiating the business, it's like, what's best for me? I'm sticking to my guns, and what's best for you, you stick to your guns. We'll put it all on paper, and that's what we agree to. Because when you like, it becomes too friendly, it's like, okay, I got you. Like, I really don't want to do this because you're my friend. All right, I'll make an exception and we can do this. And maybe we don't have to sign the paperwork today because we cool. And like, I used to tell everybody all the time, like, nah, we good. Like, it's because I'm from the, you know, the underworld where it's like, we don't sign contracts. Like, your word is your word. Like, I'm big on your word. Like, anybody knows me. Like, what I say, I mean, like, every time. Like, I'm literal as fuck. So if you tell me something, then I believe you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hold you to that. Like, don't ever break your word with me. You break your word with me, it's tough. And like, I get offended almost. Like, to the point where it's like, I didn't know how to respond when I got offended. Like, every time I get offended, I would respond in like a lash out type of way. Like, either like a fight or you know what I mean?
You take it personal.
Ain't no question. And I gotta learn now, like, yo, you can't do that no more. Like, I gotta change my reaction to being like offended or disrespected. You know what I mean? Cause it never, like, even if I was right, every time I would do something and then it would make me look wrong.
Well, it would make it even worse.
Yeah, it made it worse. Ain't no question.
So basically, when someone says it's business, not personal for you, that's not how you operate.
No, it don't exist. Yeah, no, it don't exist. You know what
Talk
I mean?
about that.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you got to know what you want, you know what I mean? First of all, and then you have to, like, spend the money, get the lawyers, get your accountant, make sure everything's in order. Because that paperwork, that operating agreement, when it comes down to, it better be on there. If it's not, it don't matter what was said, whatever, that's just it. That's law. So, and it's like, even if we are friends, okay, you might forget what you said or what you agreed to. I just went through this again the second time. People forget what they say. And
You've had two partnerships that have gone bad?
No, the second one didn't go bad. But this time we had a piece of paper to reference it.
Right.
Like, no, this is what you said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're going by. Oh, my bad, I forgot. It's fine. It's right here. No hard feelings. This is just business.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then after the business, we can go be friends. But business is business. There's no, like, middle, and don't let that shit get, because it's...
A lot of people think that when you mix business with friends, they think it's like your idea of standards might not be mine.
Exactly. That's why we gotta have it on paper. We gotta have it on paper. And everyone I've met since that happened told me, like, partnerships just ain't the way to go.
Really?
They're not the way to go, especially with friends. Like, but partnerships just aren't the way to go. Like, because it's just, there's too much, like, it's too much differences, opinion, too much differences. And it's like, yo, if you want this and I want this and you don't want to do this and I don't.
Well, don't you think there's a leader and there's the boss, there's the underboss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
there should be,
life.
but remember, people don't want to be the underboss forever.
Some people
Especially
do.
when they put in mind.
Yeah, especially when they put them in, they feel like they can, you know what I mean? And I don't, what we agree on is what we agree on.
What do you think is the biggest risk you've taken? So being like, once you had to go on your own and you was like, okay, it's time for me to do something. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave legacy. I'm gonna do my own. What was the biggest risk so
the
far?
biggest risk is you have no one backing you. You have no help. And like both partnerships I've been in, I have $0 in the bank account every month. You know what I mean? So like no marketing, like $0 in marketing, zero, like if something breaks, we ain't got $1 to fix it. Like every month we bust up the funds and then it goes back to zero. Like the accounts are literally at zero. So every month I'm 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So like if I don't train that client and I don't train on this day and they don't pay at this time, then like we might get overdrafted. We might miss rent. Like there was no like, oh, we have a reserve of funds. You know what I mean? Like there's never been a reserve of funds. Every time it's been back to zero. Like I've always started in the negative.
For somebody that's listening to you say that, what does that do for you?
I mean, I have like this self-confidence now where it's like I've been through so much where like I don't
you don't
like,
work.
It's not physically possible for me to lose. Like even if everything goes wrong, it's like we're gonna find a way. And there's always been a way. Like there's always a way. Like I used to, like I said, any type of adversity, I was gone. So like I would freak out and be like, we can't, but like it always works out.
In the beginning, did you think like every month you weren't gonna have a business?
No, I mean I had no choice. Like it was just
You
no
had to
choice. Yeah, there's no choice. Like we don't have, like that's one thing. Like Bezo and Manning and them, it's like they're not going. Like there's no. It doesn't even cross your mind. It just
You gotta
we
go
gonna get
get
it
it.
done. Like we gonna figure this shit out. Like I don't care if I like, and I've been there from sun up to sundown. Like I'm in the 5 years I was at Legacy, I probably took 10 days off, like including Sundays, and I worked a double every day, Monday through Friday. I'll be there from 5 in the morning till 1 p.m. or like around that time, and then I come back from like 4 to 8, and on the Monday through Thursday from like 4 to 10, and then ride my bike back to the halfway house. I was riding bike back and forth. But yeah, it was a double every day for 5 years. And then Saturday, Sunday too was a half day, 8 hours. Like
Yeah.
those are our half days, 8 hours, and no AC. We had no AC in
No
that bitch.
AC?
No AC, no water fountains, no none of that shit. We getting cursed out like a motherfucker. Yeah, it was, and my first job, I was working 40 hours minimum wage, and I was working 60 hours. So I was getting paid $1,288 when I was at Legacy for a month.
And the team of people that you have around you now, where do you get all these guys from? You always have a team. How do you do that?
Team, what you mean by team then?
You're the guys that are there at Rawfit.
I mean, at Rawfit, it's just me and Connor right now. You know what I mean?
I see you post some other dudes that are always there.
Yeah, they just there working out. Like Connor's my boy from high school. We played football together. He's gangster, super gangster. He worked his ass off. Like, you know what I mean? He went to Duke. He was all-time leading receiver in the ACC. He played like practice squad, NFL for a couple of years, bounced around. Now he's like a money manager, Morgan Stanley type shit. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. But he just he popped in one day and he was like, yo, I want to intern with you. And I'm like, okay, give me 3 months. And he was like, okay. And I was like, all right. I was ready to do this shit by myself.
Really?
Like I haven't missed a class.
Wow.
Like he just covered the first class for me last week when I was sick. I got sick. But I taught like the first 300 classes in a row by myself. Like,
Wow.
yeah, like we just gonna do this. Like there's no, like I need a team. Like I'm looking for a team. But as far as my experience, like every single person, like mind you, like Legend got a job. Like I hooked Legend up with a job, Corey up with a job. We got Eddie a job. We got Dean a job. And all these dudes are fresh out of prison, like not trainers, most of them. But like they worked their leg. Like it got to a point where Manning was like, you ain't got nobody coming home soon? Like we were throwing people in there. So it was like, but they just, like, I'm gonna die for this. Like I want to make it to the top. I want to be the best in the world. And when they first get out or anyone comes to me and anyone after from other places been like, yo, I want to work with you. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. But then when it comes down to like what we got to do, they don't want to do it. And it's like,
What is it that they don't want to do?
Yeah.
it's just the everyday grind. Like you gotta, like fitness is fun, but like there's a reason it's fun. You gotta be there every day in the mornings before work. So you gotta be there 5 a.m. before the people are going to work, because that's the people that are spending the money, the people that are serious about it, the people that want to get it in before work, and then there's the people after work. So you really like 5 to 1 p.m., 5 a.m. to 1 p.m., and then like 4 or 5 p.m. to 8, 9 p.m. You know what I mean? Like you gotta work that shit, and you gotta care, and you have to like energy, and you have to, and like it's exhausting, and you don't have a life. Like you're not gonna have no social life. You're not gonna be able to go out, because you can't go out and get drunk and get up at 4 in the morning every day. And then it's just, you're not gonna have the energy to push these people, especially when we had no AC. So it was like, it's just, it's hard. It's a lot of work, and it's hard. But like it pays off in the end. Like in the beginning, I was like, if I can just make $4,000 a month, I'll be straight. Like it was hard. Like I thought about quitting all the time. Like at Legacy all the time in the beginning, but I was like, no, just keep going. And then it got better and better. And once it hit a certain point, it was like, I got this. It was like, there's no way.
So why were you thinking about quitting? What was it that happened?
Bro,
You said, I'm done with this.
I never said I was done with it, but I was close. I mean, when you making no money, like I'm eating bologna sandwiches from the halfway house every day. I'm riding my bike in the morning. I'm riding the bike there at 4 a.m, sliding through Overtown, all that shit. And I'm riding back at like 12 o'clock for lunch to go to my little halfway house, my AA meetings and shit like that. I wouldn't have time to take a shower, so I just sleep on the floor in the room in the halfway house. And then I gotta ride the bike back to the gym, and this is like September too, so it's hot as a motherfucker, and it's raining all the time. Like I'm talking about, I'm getting rained on. I gotta pull over and like wait under a bus stop at like 11 at night, getting rained on to ride my bike back. And I was just like, bro, like I'm gonna go back and get that pack, like, you know what I mean? Like I just need 4,000. Like I wasn't making $1,200, you know what I mean? Like, and then you got to give the halfway house they 25%. So it's like, bro, I can't survive like this. But he was just like, I remember.
How long was that?
I was
just. Why were you running hard like that?
That was like the first year. Probably the first year was like that. And then I remember like the end of the year meeting, like he would tell you, send you the goals. And it was like, I guess I started like September 4th. So in the end of the year, he did like do your meetings and stuff. And he's like, email me your goals for next year. And I was like, I want to train 5 clients a day, have like 20 people in the classes, and sign up like 20 people every month. And he kind of like called me over and he was like, and I said power clean too. I posted the email the other day. I don't give a fuck about power clean anymore. But he was like, he called me over and he's like, this is it? Like, this is all you want? And I was like, at the time, I was like, bro, what do you mean? This is like,
this is life.
The top of the He was like, if you keep doing what you're doing, like, you're going to get this in no time. He's like, think bigger. So I was like, all right. And then it happened. And then like, once it happened, like the first year or two as a trainer is tough. Like, you got to build that clientele. That's why everybody fucks up too, because they want to have a life and be, you can't, right? So, but after like that first year, it was a wrap. Like, I knew I was going to kill it. Like, I knew it. And he would always like, I got lucky because I was like the last one that he like kind of like poured into. You know what I mean? Like, he was still teaching classes. He was still training clients a little bit. He was starting there was only one legacy at the time. They were about to open South Carolina, and then came a couple other ones and shit. But he was still like very involved. And like, I got like the end of that, the very end of that.
If you had to go back, is there anything that you would say, maybe I should have owned the business sooner?
Nah. I never really wanted to leave. Like, I was cool being number 2. But there was a lot of shit going on in there, where a lot of politics, a lot of like, I had to like tiptoe not to piss off other people. And I really want to just go snatch that shit. But
for 5'2", you're really intense.
Yeah, ain't no question.
Yeah.
Ain't no question. And
I'm sure you know that.
Oh no, I would, like, we would have like, he would be in there like me and like Joe, and they would play shit. Like, we had different music. Like, we don't want to hear, we turn it off on the Sonos, like with clients right there. They turn it back on. We turn it off. We screaming back and forth. Like, I would come in the gym some days and like, you outside now, like Arturo, and Arturo's a big ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like Ron, Joe, everything. Like, we come in there like outside now, and we would just like go at it. And then it was, all right, cool, we back to it. But it was like, as you get older and after a while, I was just like, I'm a little tired of this shit. Cause like, I was really trying to go, and they're going more like boot camp route, and I was more like personal training route. So like, Manny would always sacrifice at times, like, to make me feel more comfortable, but it was going away from like his business model. And then it was like, I would sacrifice to help them, but it was going against from what I wanted to do. So it was almost like, you guys are going this way, I'm going this way. It was just, at the time, it was good to go. So
your vision now has always maintained?
It evolves, but yeah, like my whole thing.
Personal training.
Now it's the classes, like, cause it's just bang for your buck, and I want to take a break. Like, I want to be able to take a break, and like, I feel like we really trying to change like the exercise industry, because most gyms and boot camps or whatever is just like, all right, there's a trainer training who's brand new, has really no idea what they're doing, and they have to train 40 people at the same time, and like, they're playing DJ, they're not really paying attention, and like, you're really getting people hurt. And it's just like, get them in, get them out, get them in, get them out, sign them up, next one prospect, get them in, get them out. And it's just so much like business and like money. It's not about like helping people feel better and look better. So that's all I'm on. It's like, I want to help you look better and feel better, and if I do that, then you'll pay me what I deserve to get paid. And I remember like how bad I felt when I didn't work out, when I was partying all the time, when I was doing shit I wasn't supposed to do. Like, you're not really happy. Like, I see a lot of these people out here, and everybody's like, bro, I want to do what you do, and I want to do it. I'm like, bro, come on. But they get caught up in the partying and the drinking and the. And
would you say it's because Miami?
Yeah, Miami's terrible. Miami's awful. I mean, I love
But
Miami,
if you've been able to do it, then.
Oh, ain't no question.
But is it a mindset thing?
It's definitely a mindset thing. But it's like, I know how good I feel now, and I know how bad I felt then. So it's like, I want to help people feel like how I feel
Good.
now. Yeah, I want to help people feel good. Not just like in and out, in and out, in and out. When there's so much turnover, I don't even know you anymore. You know what I mean? Like the people that come to Raw 305, like that's family. And not family, because I hate that word in community and stuff, because it's so much like, yo, if you find something better, you got to do you. Like, no pressure, you out. Because everywhere else, it's like, oh, if you leave, fuck you, you against us. You know what I mean? Almost. So it's like, yo, do what's best for you. At this point, if it's with me, like I'm going to pour into you. Like I care too much almost. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm trying to pour into you. I'm going to give you everything I got. But I need you to give me something back. You know what I mean? Like I need some kind of commitment from you. So it's like, that's why I don't do like the first free class. That's why I don't do class pass really or any of that shit. Because I don't want people in there who don't care. Like if you really care and like you care about fitness and care about getting better and you're going to put in the effort, like I'll help you. If you call me and I'm asleep, like I'll come to the gym. Like it doesn't matter. People, hey, are you there? No, but I'll come. Because if you're trying to get in shape and you know how it is, like when you're motivated and you're ready to go, and then if the trainer tells you I can't, you're going to be like, what the fuck,
You're
bro?
deflated.
Yeah, so it's like I never want you to feel like that. So I don't care if I'm on my deathbed, like I'm going to come do it for you. But like you have to show me that, because I feel like I've done that a lot in the past, and then they didn't meet me halfway, and I almost get like discouraged and mad at them, and then it becomes like a problem. But now it's just like, I'm not even going to meet you unless you show me, because I'm not going to lose my shit for you.
I
want
saw
commitment.
you.
Yeah,
Well, I
if
saw
not, I'm gonna get
him
mad.
on Instagram, and he was giving like a talk, like to his followers,
I just talk shit to get people's attention.
and it was. I was like,
You were motivated?
I was scared. I was like, oh Lord. You were telling people that if you want to come in here and give like 150%,
Yeah.
like don't tell me you want me to push you and then come in here and like lag. He was kind of like, I'm gonna push you.
Call them
But
out.
that's what I
But
said.
you
when
were
I said
so
I'm
intense.
Because like,
Yeah,
that's what
I-
I've been through 1,000 times. Is like people tell me like, I want this, and I'm like, you sure you want this? And they're like, nah, bro, I want to push me. I want to die. Like I want to get there. I want to be you. I want to. And I'm like, okay. So then I start holding you to that. And then it's like, oh, you're the bad guy.
They
You're
fold.
an asshole. You're a dick. But bro, we talked about this. Cause I have plenty of people like, bro, you know, Jason and like Brad and like a lot of these dudes, like professionals, and people just want to come in there and like stand up straight, be strong, not be
Right.
fat. And it's like, okay, we can,
Right.
I'm not going to make you a killer. Like you don't want to be a killer. You just want to work out and be healthy. Cool. We can do that. Even people that have worked with me, like Legend and me always were cool, because Legend was like, I don't want to be you. I want to do this and this, and I want to go home. Okay, cool. But when you're here, I need this. And it was like, okay, cool. And I would get on him about certain things, and he would listen, and he would take it, and he would never shoot back at me crazy, whether he agreed with it or not. He would take it.
Legend is great. Shout out to Legend.
Legend, my boy. But it's like, as long as I know what the expectations are, and we agree on that, and okay, that's where we gonna go. Cause I'm gonna take it to the moon. Like I'm gonna take it there.
What's the future for Rafit?
To be the best gym in the world and like help people. Like we just want to help people like feel good and look good. And there's so much like the negative connotation of working out where it's like you have to die. Like, you don't have to die. Like you don't have to, like you have to push yourself a little bit at certain times, but you don't have to throw up every time. You don't have to be in pain. Like no pain, no gain. You can feel good and look good. Like you have to be in the moment. You have to be present. You have to be consistent. But like you don't have to die. Everyone thinks like you have to sweat and die. Like no, like there's a correct way to do this, and it's simple, but it's not easy. If you show up and you like are there, we'll get it done for you. But if you think you're just gonna show up every once in a while and then not be present, like a lot of people think they can work out and like it's just gonna come. If you're driving in the school zone, you're going 15 miles an hour. Like I can talk on the phone, I can eat, and I'm not gonna crash. But if I'm in like an F1 and I look down for a second, I'm hitting that wall and I'm dead. But we trying to put you in an F1 because that's the only thing that makes a difference. Like you have to have a threshold to change. So if you're not lifting the correct amount of weight with the correct form, with the correct rest, then you're not going to change. And a lot of these fitness places and classes, they just sweat and like they sell you on these little gimmicky like things and heart rate monitors and whatever the fuck, and you think, oh, I'm in, but you're not getting no results, and you getting hurt, and you paying money, and you taking time out your day. So why would you want to go work out if you're not getting results, you're in pain, and you paying money? Everyone who comes through our doors is in better shape than when they started, and they feel a lot better. Like I got a lot of people who couldn't lift their arm up like over their head, and now they can throw around. But it's just from being consistent. There's no like one magic pill, magic exercise. The whole exercise industry is based off oh, this is gonna do it for you. You know what I mean? Like this drink, this workout, this food, and like it just don't exist. It's just you have to show up every day. It's so much like life. Like if you cheat life, like you know how it goes.
Cut a corner.
Life, yeah, you're going to prison or you're gonna die. You know what I mean? And most of my friends are in prison or dead. So it's like, as bad as you want to sometimes like take a shortcut and take the easy way out, this shit don't work. Same thing with fitness. If you want to take the steroids and you want to go crazy, you're going to crash out and you're going to burn out and you're going to get hurt. Like you have to progress consistently over time. And that's what we're trying to show people.
Let's leave the viewers with a piece of advice for people who get into the business, any business. What would be your number one piece of advice for somebody who wants to start a business? Entrepreneur.
Do it. But like, don't be married to anything, like one direction, one decision, because it's never going to work out how you thought it was going to work out. Like,
So you have to duck and weave every decision you make.
Evolve.
Like Audible, whatever the fuck.
Evolve.
Like evolve, but adjust. Because like tomorrow we might walk in there and you think this and this is going to happen, and now that shit's not even possible anymore. Now we got to do a new way. Or like the boot camp draft is down this month, so now we might have to do a camp tomorrow. We got to figure out a new way to make some money real quick. Or these people, like, you just have to adapt. You got to adapt to any situation. Don't get don't get flustered. Like, you got to stay calm and just like figure it out. Because as soon as you get all emotional and start like panicking or screaming at people, and you're just wasting time. Like, just whatever comes at you that day, one day at a time, like, we're going to figure it out today. And don't get invested in like 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Obviously, like, you have a vision and you have, this is where I want to get to, but like where I thought I was going to get to it then isn't how I thought I'm going to get to it now. And I know tomorrow something's going to happen and I'm going to have to change that. And it's just whatever. But just attack it and be smart about it.
Sean, how do they find you?
Sean Casey 305. Let me say 05. And oh shit, the camera's right there. Sean Casey 305 and Rawfit 305 on Instagram. We don't do that Threads and Twitter and all that other shit. Appreciate
All right,
you.
thank you, Sean.
My boy.
Love you, my brother.
Always. Kill it.